Heather, and I am a few minutes late. I'm sorry. Wednesday, well, really every day, we're open at our store at Grace on Broadway. So Wednesdays I'm here by myself. So sometimes it's easier than others to get here exactly at 4, but I'm here and I'm excited. Today's the day we're gonna finish this. So we're gonna do some fun stuff. If this is your first Wednesday with me, I do try to come on here, and as often as I can, I do try to do projects from beginning or as close to the beginning all the way through the end as I can, because I'd like to show you guys the steps, especially since this is a, based on the title, right? It's a 101 group, so you guys want to know all the things. So, me, this is what we've been working on, and what I did so far is we used Slick Stick just because this had no pores, no grit, nothing for the paint really to stick to well. So we put that on first. Then, well, first we cleaned it. Then we did Slick Stick. Then I painted it with 2 coats of In the Navy. Then last week we decoupaged it with recycled papers. This is like a blueprint type paper. I purposely kept it where there's jagged edges and stuff like that. Once these go in, you'll see that we even did all of the pieces, so it's one uniform look. I just have the drawers kind of pulled out a little bit. So I kept the original hardware, and it's nice and round. It's fun. I think I can clean it up with a quick little sanding with like a buffer. But this is gonna fit like that. It's gonna be super cute on all of them. And the thing I thought we would do today is we're gonna do the hardware. That can go back on. But really what I wanted to go over with you guys is Would You Bend. So I have some gears. I don't think I want to use all of them. I just want to use maybe a couple. I think it'd be cute. And I think I like this one. It's kind of flat. And I like this one. And I like this one. And I like this little guy. So my thought is to just put a couple of these little guys in places that kind of complement where there's already cogs and things on the paper, but not too many. Like I don't want to take away from the paper with the molds. I want to complement it. Like that could be super cute. And this one kind of fits here. So I think for me, for this piece, like there's some that I like to put molds and appliques kind of all over, but I think for this one, I want to do like the smaller kind of inconspicuous just add-on ones. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you in a second. All right, changing my mind midstream. So Would You Bend, you can either paint before or after you heat them up and put them on. I at first was just starting to heat them up first to put them on first, but because it's paper and I don't want to have to watch every tiny thing I do, I think we're better off painting them first, then heating them up and applying them. So I'm just going to get out a couple that are sized the way I think I'm gonna, in the size category that I want. And then I'm going to tilt the camera so you guys can see what the heck we're doing. So I want these to kind of blend in with the others that were with the paper. So I'm gonna paint them in Gravel Road because I think that'll work out with the paper, but be just different enough so that they're not completely blended in. We want them to be just different enough. So let me get my paint open. So I just have like these tiny little art brushes. I don't need to use like anything fantastic when I'm just doing these little pieces, right? Like we want these to have color, and that's it. No good brushes required. We're just painting our Would You Bend gravel road. I want to make sure to get in the cogs along the sides because you're going to see them. You only really need one coat. Would You Bend takes really well to paint. So you don't need to do multiple coats to get that color saturation, which is fantastic. And I just think sometimes painting it prior kind of saves you some work and some like being careful on the other end. Like you don't want to have to be like panicked over watching every edge, when right now we could paint it just like this and be done. The neat thing about the Would You Bend is that once they heat up, they become pliable, which means they get bendy. And you can move them whichever way you want. You can cut them. You can, like with scissors, cut them. I've actually just ripped them once they're like that. You can cut them with scissors or with like a box cutter, just with a straight blade. Then when they cool, they become rigid again. And if they become cool before you're done working with them, you would just simply heat them up again. But what I find the neatest, and I'm going to show you, is that once it's on and your glue is on, you're going to go with a heat gun again, because that little with the heat is going to draw your wood glue into your mold, and it's going to create an amazing chemical bond. And a lot of the molds that are on the market right now don't do that. It's just your piece, your wood, and then your applique. Your wood glue would never get soaked into it. All right, I think I'm gonna do only like 2 more because I think this is plenty for this piece, and I kind of want to get started showing you guys how to do it. Okay, so now we have our Would You Bend painted. If we decide we need more, we'll come back and paint a couple more. I really, really, truly think that this is going to be enough. I don't really foresee me wanting like a huge thing on this. So I'm just gonna close all this up. Now what I do is I have a heat gun and a griddle. So I have this. This is just an everyday, regular kitchen griddle. It's an electric griddle. There's nothing overly special about it. I keep it on low to medium. You don't need it set on like the highest setting. We're just gonna literally plop our Would You Bend on it. So all of these I'm just gonna plop on. And they're gonna heat up nice and slow while we're working with the others. I like to use kitchen griddles for exactly this purpose, because then while we're working with this one, these are becoming pliable and they're just, it's a nice, slower, even heat while we're doing other things. I'm going to raise the camera back so you guys can see what we're working on. So now you guys saw that we have the kitchen griddle. So that's where I'm going to be taking the wood you bent off of. That's what's heating them up. I have my wood glue right here. And I'm going to just put a little bit of the wood glue on the plate so that it's just out and ready when I need it. And I have a tiny art brush that we're going to use to kind of paint the glue on with. Sometimes wood glue doesn't always like to cooperate. So I'm just going to pour like a dollop of it here. Whoa, that's more than we need. Let me chase some of that back in. Perfect. All right. And then I have this like crappy, I don't know, like 10-cent brush. Like it's just a crappy art brush. It has super crappy bristles. There's nothing great about it. I'm gonna use it to paint with my glue and then I'll chuck it. All right, so now this has been sitting. I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit so it gets just a little bit warmer. And I've decided I wanna go in some of these gears that are already here. So this one I think fits here really well. So, but what we want to do is we're still heating it up, even though this is a mostly flat surface. And the reason we're still heating up the wood you bend, there's two reasons. One, no surface is perfectly flat and no wood you bend molding is perfectly flat. So we're going to heat it up. That's going to make it pliable. We're going to put the glue on it. Then when we stick it, we can mold our mold to our piece. So whatever imperfections are here and whatever imperfections, meaning just not perfectly straight or in our mold, it's okay because they're warm and they're all going to conform together. So that's the first reason, that even when you go flat, you're heating up your wood you bend. The second is we're going to still heat it after because we want to create that mechanical bond of the glue pulling into the applique. That's so important. Okay, so now it's warm, so look, it'll bend. Right, like that's cool. It's like rubber. I'm gonna put that right there while I get glue on my paintbrush. Just let it stay warm while I'm getting ready. Now I'm gonna pick it back up and I'm just gonna brush my paint to this side. You certainly do not need a ton of glue. You need just enough. Just like that. And then we're gonna apply it here. And we're gonna heat it up. So now that it's on, we're just gonna take our heat gun, and we're gonna put it on low, and we're just gonna apply a tiny bit more heat. And like I said, this is gonna create the mechanical bond that is going to keep this applique on forever. So now this one fits in here great. So now we want to go and add like a smaller one here. I just want to add like little accent pieces. I want this to just be an interesting part of it, but maybe not like completely take away, right? So I'm just gonna, again, go ahead. These are staying heated because they're on our electric griddle. So they're never cooling, they're always ready for us, which is why I love to have my electric griddle out when I'm doing bigger projects with wood you bend. So, I don't know, this one kind of fits here. So, this is heated up, wood you bend. I'm just pressing it in everywhere. Now I'm gonna heat it up again really quick. It's a heat gun, so this does get hot. You don't want to stay in one spot. You don't want to get too close. You're just running heat over it. That's all you want to do. Just like you're blow drying your hair, right? Nothing crazy. So now that one's on. These are kind of cute, right guys? It's adding just enough interest. Let's see what else we have. This one's kind of cute here. Let's use, I think this guy would, and look again, in case you're just here, this goes warm, and look, it's a full U. Oh, you know what? This one could go, that's kind of cute. Just like a teeny tiny guy. I think I like the little one. Because if you can see, there's like an outline of a cog right there. So this nestles right into it. And then I feel like this bigger one, but look, at the base of this, there's this big, huge cog, and then an even bigger cog. So I'm wondering, like, maybe let's put this one down here because it'll balance out the bigger one from up here. So that's what I think I want to do. But like there. Put that there. And I kind of want to cover that one rip. It's a little bit bigger than I wanted. So I'm going to use this arc of the circle to meet that arc of that circle. So it all kind of flows together. We do have two more smaller ones, so I'm trying to see where maybe like a smaller one could fit. So as you can see, you don't need to like tape these down. You don't need to use, anything crazy. Like you just literally glue, heat, glue. I mean, heat, glue, heat. Oh my goodness. So we have this little guy. The top drawer. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna put it. The top of the top drawer. Let's go for that. Like right here. That's cute. So anyone that's like scared or worried about would you bend, I mean, it's beyond simple. Heat 'em, glue 'em, heat 'em. Okay? Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We have this tiny one left. So I'm gonna put this one right here. And now as you can tell, I'm doing my would you bend with my heat, with my glue over decoupage paper, right? Like this is, so again, we're not putting our heat so close to it that we're burning our paper or our fingers. We're just weaving the heat over it to create the mechanical bond. That's all we want to do. Just a little bit of heat. It creates the bond, it gets it there. And now we have a little bit of interest added to our piece. And the best thing I love is that I can paint them before doing it. Because can you imagine if we had to put all of these things on and then take like the teeniest, tiniest paintbrush and hope to not get paint on our decoupage paper? Like that would have been really annoying to say the least, right? So I'm gonna shut off my electric griddle because we don't need that anymore. I'm gonna just use like a clear wax on this because I like the colors that it is already. This is the hardware. I like the shape of it. Look here. But now I'm wondering, maybe let's paint it gravel road and tie it all together. What do you guys think? So let's try it with the original ones. If we get them on and we hate it, we can always dry brush with gravel road. So that's kind of fun. We can change our mind, right? Like, that's the fun of it. We can change our mind. So, I betcha. This is my, you guys know I work with like a bunch of different amazing companies for the Bells and Bow Tour, and Would You Bend is a sponsor, Recycle Papers is a sponsor, Dixie Belle's a sponsor. Like, we have a ton of really great companies that we work with, and Surf Prep is also one of them, and they have rad pads. These are bigger. I cut this one, and it has a foam back and then the abrasive on the front. This is a very soft abrasive, and I am almost positive that if I just kind of go over this, it's gonna let me, see that? All right, so here's the neat thing. It's foam. So I want you to see it, but I'm trying to figure out how to get an angle. See how it lets you like sit the foam in the indents of the hardware? And you can almost just go right around it and buff your hardware with it. Oh my goodness, this, guys, this is neat. I didn't know that this would do this. I just kind of thought it would because of how soft it is. It's letting me go into all the grooves of this hardware and buff it till it's super duper shiny. Wait till I show you the difference. You're gonna be so excited because I am beyond excited. This just is all of my hardware dreams come true. Super easy. I'm gonna put it on like our little table real quick just because it'll be easier to do it that way. All right, so here's my sander. It's a foam pad. I used my finger like this and I just went through all the grooves. Here is the original hardware. I'm gonna take this off so you can see it just as a ring. So we can do like a full side-by-side comparison. Here's the original, right? After like 4 seconds with my rad pad, look at this. Oh, look at it. Holy polished. And like perfect. No scratches, no nothing. It's just super shiny. So I love this, and this matches our decoupage paper and everything so much better. Look. We just needed to polish it. So, rad pads, for sure, 100% in like 5 seconds, polish the heck out of old hardware. Oh, this is awesome! Guys, this is like my favorite thing I accidentally found out ever. So exciting. Like, how amazing is that? Let's do it on here and just see. Yes, look, it's working. Oh, all right. I'm gonna put this down so you guys can see. This wasn't gonna be this much of a part of the video, but this is incredible. I'm so excited. You would think I found like the cure to some disease. All right. So here, we'll take this ring and see it's all like nasty and gnarly, and I have my rad pad. And literally in moments, we're getting it straight polished to brand new. And it can go around edges. So now I can literally wrap it around this and just work around the edges like that. So much better than soaking. Look. So shiny, so quick. Right around those edges. Right around those, look at that. Oh, I got paint on that one, but still, look, 4 seconds. 4 seconds. Well, I guess I know what my advice is going to be now when people want to clean up their hardware. Look. That is a completely different piece of hardware than what we started with. I thought you guys were crazy for original finish, but how pretty is that going to be? These are RAD Pads by Surf Prep Sanding, and this is the very fine pad. So the nice thing is this is a foam. This feels like, because I know you guys are live so you can't touch and feel things, this feels like, you know, the foam pool noodles that you use to float around the pool in the summertime when it's not 15 degrees out? That's what the back of it feels like. It's this thin foam pad, and then on the front is Surf Prep's super amazing abrasives. But because it's foam, you can actually use it just like that, where your finger is really your pressure point, and you can get into areas that other stuff might not let you. It doesn't rip, so there's no scratching on this. Like, it's just clean. Like, so I'm literally folding it over my finger, using my finger as a pressure point, and my finger actually fits in all these little nooks. Look. The center is where we didn't clean. Look at how polished that outer ring is. With literally no scratches, no nicks, just brand new. Brand new. I'll do this little inside edge. I've now used these for so many things. If you guys watched last week's video, I used the same red ones to get the air bubbles out of the decoupage paper on this piece. Look at that. So this is, let me take this off. I'm going to show you guys one more time the before and after. And then I'm going to sand the rest of these off camera. And I'll get you guys the link. So before and after. How cool is that? Like, my favorite new thing. That just saved all of this hardware. So now these are going to be really pretty, guys. Look at that. So we added our, so super recap for this piece, and I'm gonna finish it up tomorrow off camera. I'm gonna take some pictures of it. But what we did is, it did need slick stick because there was no pores. We went ahead and we did 2 coats of In the Navy to the whole piece. We added this blueprint of recycled paper. We then painted our super fun cogs and wheels from Would You Bend with Gravel Road. We heated them up. We painted the back with just regular old Gorilla Wood glue. We applied them, went over it with our heat gun to create the mechanical bond. And then we kept the original hardware, but we used our Surf Prep RAD Pads, and we buffed the heck out of them and made them super, super, super brand new. And I'm gonna go ahead and continue to do all of them and put them on and put a clear coat of just clear wax. You guys don't really care about watching that, I'm sure. So that's what I'm gonna do off camera. And then I'm gonna take some pictures and I'll post them in the group. Sorry for the kind of crazy store time, but super excited you guys were here with me to figure out that the RAD Pads would buff the RAD into some hardware. That was awesome. And to really finish it up with these interesting pieces of Would You Bend. So thank you for being with me this Wednesday, and I will see you next week. But I'm gonna post all sorts of pictures of all the stuff we just figured out. So I'll see you soon. Bye, ladies and guys.